Thank you. The next stage now, before we cut our dough, remember we need to get our bread pan ready. The way we do this, we make sure that our bread pan is clean. Okay, now we've got our cooking oil close by. We need to oil them. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because when my bread is cooked, it needs to easily come out of these bread pans. Otherwise, if you don't, then it's going to stick and then you won't be able to get them out. Okay. Now you're not putting too much in, you're just putting a little bit just to make sure that your bread doesn't stick, and then you just rub a little bit onto the sides as well. Okay, because your dough is going to rise all the way up to the top, so you make sure that wherever it's going to be rising on, and then it's all nice and oiled. Now I'm just using canola oil. It doesn't have to be this brand. You can use just about any brand, any cooking oil, even your margarine, it works fine. So whatever it's easier for you to find, just use that. My alarm is gone, 15 minutes is over. Okay, I'm gonna be starting on stage number 4. Number 4, which is dividing my dough up and fold it and put it into my bowl. Now before I just want to show you how does it look afterwards. Okay, now it's supposed to be looking like this, nice and fat. It's actually about double the size what I've put in there after my 10 minutes. Okay, now it's coming out. Now this pan is a 700 gram loaf pan, which means now I'm gonna be dividing my dough into 4. Okay, all these 4 halves needs, or 4 quarters needs to be 700 gram, have a 700 gram weight. Okay, so I'm gonna weigh them, all 4 of them. I'm gonna weigh them. Okay, got all my 4 done. Now my scale is there. I'm gonna use my bowl to weigh them, so make sure that they're all equal. Alright, take one at a time, put it in. Okay, that one is about 720, which is slightly bigger, so I'm just gonna take a little bit off. Right, there we go. So that's how much you need each one of them. Number 1, number 2. Okay, 740. Taking too much. Okay, there we go. 700. Number 2. Number 3, 860. Okay, last one. $760. Okay, perfect. Now all 3 are done. They all weigh equally. Now I still have a little bit left over. Okay, now this little bit of leftover, it's not a waste. It is, it's there for a reason. Now, before your bread is cooked, remember it's got water in. Now, 30% of that dough is going to disappear. Basically, that watery in that's inside there. Now, by putting a little bit in, now I'm making sure now when that 30% is gone, this replaces that amount. Okay, so your dough needs to be about 730, 740 before cooking, because after cooking it's going to come down to about 700 grams. So that's why you need to have those little bits at the end. Okay, now I'm going to start now folding each one of those. Now this stage is so important that you are not using too much flour. You don't want to have to see your flour going into your bread pans. So your dough needs to go in there nice and clean. I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, now I'm going to start folding. Fold one side, another side, and then you don't gonna be taking too long doing this exercise. You need to do it as quickly as you can, because once you start putting your loaf of bread in there, it's gonna start rising. So you don't want to put those other ones, the other three, 20 minutes later or 5 minutes later. You need to try and get this exercise done in about a minute. Fold, fold, close it. Okay, we're making like little, like nice big sausages. 2, last one. Okay, now once they are in here, just check. They all need to be nice and level. In other words, they need to be the same height from one end to the next. Because if they are not in line, you will find that your bread is going to grow uneven. So you must make sure that they are nicely leveled up. So that when they grow up, they rise up like the same size, and each side needs to be the same as they rise up. Otherwise, you're going to have all different size bread in there. Okay, now the next thing is I'm going to now take it into the prover like this, and then prove it until it's fully risen, which means now it needs to go just over a little bit of the rim. It mustn't be in line with the rim of your pan, but they need to go up a little bit, just go over by maybe like a centimeter or 2, and then you know that your bread is done properly. Thanks.